What is up, everyone? It is I, Magician88, and I'm going to be casting another game from IdrA, as he sent it to me via the replay pack that he's been sending to all the subscribers. So anyway, let's start off on Whirlwind LE. It is going to be a ZVT. On the bottom left, we have spawning as the Red Zerg. Of course, it is IdrA. And in the top right, or the bottom right hand corner actually, spawning as the blue Terran, it is none other than Iaguz, or Iaguz. I actually don't know how to pronounce his name. Now you may be wondering, Iaguz, I think I've heard of him before. Yes, he is actually the Aussie player, or an Aussie player, who plays Terran. He's also a commentator for the, I think, ACL. He and just trying to remember the other guy, Maynard, form a casting Archon. I don't know what can't remember what their name is. Maybe it could be. I actually don't know what their name is. But anyway, they are pretty skilled players from the Australian Southeast Asian scene. So we will see how well Iaguz actually fares against IdrA. And I'm sure, well, there's no chat, so I'm not sure if he's excited to be playing against IdrA or just a little bit scared, or neither. But we'll see how IdrA decides to play against him. Of course, this is a ZVT on Whirlwind, so hatch first. Very standard ZVT. We should be seeing a command center first on the high ground coming from Iaguz, and if IdrA actually scouted that early, he could have tried to do a cat's maneuver, which is of course to just drop the offensive proxy hatch on the natural to deny the natural of the Terran player, and then proceed to do a spine crawler rush to try and punch through the wall. At the same time, of course, you would then drop down your third in quotation marks, quote unquote, because generally speaking, this proxy hatch will probably fall eventually, as long as the Terran player actually plays a little bit more standardly and doesn't lose his wall altogether. Now, looks like Iaguz is going to go for early gas, so you should be seeing a Reaper out very soon. I don't think he has scouted the location of IdrA at all. No, he has not. Meanwhile, IdrA, realizing that Iaguz is in fact just around about here, which means this is a close spawn, close position spawning, so we should be seeing a slightly shorter game, although this game, as I'm looking at the replay time, it's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit longer than usual, so hopefully we will see some good strats from both players. Let's see. Now we do actually have the Marines coming out first, so this suggests that Iaguz is going to try and go for more of a mech-heavy army, because he is saving up some of the gas for the factory, which is coming down right about now. Meanwhile, IdrA actually getting link speed already, and notice how he's not actually putting any more drones on gas. He's also got 0 gas right now, which means he's right now just going to be sticking to lings and drones. He's going to try and macro up a little bit more, as opposed to, say, getting ready for roaches and or anything to defend any early, say, Hellion harass, which could be pretty powerful. But I've seen that there are queens out on the field already. That's damage that a Hellion harass can do will be greatly limited. We do have a reactor coming down on the barracks. I think this will be for the factory. Actually, we should be seeing that musical chairs movement very soon. I don't think Iaguz would go for marauders just yet. It will be a bit of a strange thing to do, but as right now he is moving that factory. Is he going to stop? Yes, he is. So this positioning, of course, is a telltale sign that we should be seeing reactor Hellions. Probably reactor Widowmine, although I don't think we'll be seeing Widowmines that quickly, seeing that Hellions are so good for harass. They are fast, and Iaguz actually has not scouted outside of his base yet, so it makes no sense to go for Widowmines just yet. I mean, unless you want to play exceptionally defensively, but already that the defensiveness of Iaguz's build is in these supply depots, which he actually is just randomly burrowing, lowering and raising again. Now, IdrA, realizing that there is an early expansion, as per usual for TVZ, is going to drop down his third already. So he's actually going to go a little bit more greedier than usual, I guess. We have Stimpack being researched for Iaguz, and we also have double Evo Chamber, so IdrA going for a bit more of a greedy build, trying to get his upgrades out as quickly as he can, so he may be going for some sort of a timing with these Lings. Not entirely sure how much damage they can do, especially since there's a bunker and a full-on wall right here. We don't actually have Lair being built just yet, so he's not going that greedily. Greedily, is that the word? He's not going as greedy as one would think with that much with a double Evo Chamber, although he isn't actually researching any of the attack upgrades or the defense upgrades just yet. He is only just got the Zergling speed. Meanwhile, these two queens getting ready to just poop out some more creep, and it looks like IdrA a little bit supply block right now, as he did lose one of the overlords somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. It wasn't this one though, because I guess he must have lost one as it was flying around. Maybe around here, I guess. Not entirely sure what's going on there. This overlord, of course, is going to keep an eye on Iaguz's Hellions. As we're looking at the production tower, we do have the lair being created right now, so IdrA is going to actually start looking into some other tech. We could see mutas, because, well, we should be seeing mutas right now, because Iaguz is has only shown that he has a couple of Hellions, so it would make sense to react by making mutas, although there are quite a lot of barracks being built, so maybe Iaguz is thinking that IdrA may consider getting mutas. At the same time, IdrA does have a lot of Zerglings though, so he's getting the Baneling Nest, so it looks like he is going to go for the Zergling, the Ling Bane Muta composition, which would be pretty fast. It's a pretty fast composition, should be able to deal quite a lot of damage in the form of harass, counterattacks, etc., etc. He also is getting a macro hatch, so he's actually going to try and play as greedy as possible. I guess that's the right word. We do have this one Marine going to scout everything here. These Zerglings probably don't want to engage these 4 Hellions just yet. You have a bunch of Widow Mines being coming out right now, and as per usual, the Spire is coming down, so we should be seeing mutas popping up very soon, and it looks like IdrA may be trying to save on some of the gas. We do have a couple of Banelings coming in, maybe trying to do a bit of a bust first. If he can get rid of the bunker, that would actually be a huge victory for him, as then the Lings can try and come in and kill as many workers as possible, although with that many Marines, it's not going to do that much damage. Now we do have Overlord Speed, which is a bit of a strange upgrade to get, in my opinion. We don't really see it that much unless IdrA wants to get some fast scouting. Remember, you can get Overlord Speed early now. You can get it at Hatchery Tech. You don't have to wait until Lair. But a lot of people generally don't really get it, especially at Hatchery. They don't really want to drop things that quickly, especially Banelings, for example. They don't really want to drop those. Now the Spire is almost done, so we should be seeing probably about 5 mutas coming out very soon. He has the supply ready to go. Maybe he wants to get that Overlord Speed so his Overlords can run away as quickly as possible, and we should be seeing some mutas coming down very, very soon. Yes, there we go. We have the 6 mutas coming in now. Now, does Iaguz have enough to deal with them? I think so. He's got a lot of Marines, and not much else. He is getting some missile turrets, so at least the base defense will be adequate against the muta attack, although the main base right now is actually quite susceptible to some sort of muta harass. The huge army from Iaguz is actually just going to come in, and how many Banelings do we have? Oh, we actually have quite a lot of Banelings. Now, is Baneling Speed almost done? Yes, actually Baneling Speed has just been finished, which means IdrA ready to go. He should actually try and do a bit of a flank if he tries to come in from this side. That would actually be a huge win for him, but unfortunately right now Iaguz, realizing that there are going to be quite a lot of units coming in, is actually going to have to back out for just a little bit. Okay, apparently someone favorited my tweet. Anyway, so we do have the mutas coming in, and these mutas need to get out already because they're not going to actually do a lot of damage to these Marines. There's just way too many Marines right now. Let's see, there should be a Shift C, Control Shift, nope, okay, I can't remember how to do this. Apparently it's supposed to be some sort of zoom option, but anyway, we're just going to ignore that because whatever. So anyway, Iaguz is actually going to go for another bio mine with medevac composition, and that hopefully IdrA might consider transitioning into something like Infestus and ultras, but right now there's a lot of marines, and unfortunately this engagement is actually not going to go so well for IdrA, I don't think. But the banelings are going to come in right now, and they're going to do quite a bit of damage. They should take out quite a few marines. Nice splitting by Iaguz, actually minimizing a lot of that damage, but unfortunately he really needs to back out right now, because that many marines is going to have a really hard time against that many mutas, and more importantly that many banelings. Unfortunately that the control of those marines was just a little bit sloppy right there from Iaguz, and he gets backed into a corner, which of course is how those Zerglings are going to kill those lings very quickly. And unfortunately a bit of miss micro from those Widow Mice is actually going to stop them from actually causing any damage whatsoever. We do have Drilling Claws coming in from Iaguz, so he could be sticking to more of a biomine composition, trying to break through with that kind of army against what is currently just Marine Ling Bane Muta. Pretty good idea, but you do need to try and figure out a way of positioning those mines as effectively as possible. We do actually have Hive coming in right now, so maybe IdrA already realizing that it's just going to be biomine. He is probably going to be making ultras, I think. That would be a really good idea. A really good idea. We've seen that before in against Fake Bjorn, apparently. Fake Bjorn, yeah, who just continued to make Widow bio mine, and that just got completely destroyed by ultras, infestors, etc. Now we do have a bit of an attack here, probably going to try and kill off the 4th of IdrA. Of course IdrA does have this hidden 5th. Does Iaguz know about it? I don't think so. We can have a look. He does not know about this yet. I don't think he's actually going to see it at all. And why is he dropping into these lings? I'm not entirely sure what that's all about, but these medevacs need to get the hell away right now, but they are actually moving ever so slowly. I don't think the boost ability has left cooldown yet. Yes, it has now. Is he going to scout out the 5th base? He is actually going to see that IdrA has a hidden 5th base. So so obviously now for Iaguz, he really needs to try and he really needs to try and do a lot of damage with these drops, and this is actually going to be a good drop here. Quite a lot of marines, but unfortunately there's way too many Zerglings, and these marines are going to have a really hard time dealing with that. He needs to run away right now, and unfortunately these medevacs are going to get intercepted by the mutas, and all of the medevacs die, which means these mutas are actually going to have a bit of a hard time against these marines, but these melees should be able to take out these marines no problem. Now the Ultralisk Cavern, like I said, is done, and that also means that the Infestation Pit, which is actually right here, is done as well. We should be seeing Infestors and Ultralisks coming out really soon. IdrA has a lot of minerals and gas actually piled up, ready to go, so we should be seeing quite a lot of these high level units very soon. We also have 3 upgrades and the chitinous plating being researched right now, and IdrA probably needs to try and just free up a bit of supply. We do have 3 Ultralisks coming out right now. He probably should make some Infestors. That may be a really good idea. But right now he has 198 supply, so he really needs to try and maybe get rid of a few of these lings. Meanwhile, Iaguz once again continuing with the biomine composition. This is not going to be a good idea. Once he sees Ultralisks on the field, he should probably do a few scans maybe, and this base is actually not going to die from 4 Zerglings. What are these marines doing there? The most sloppy marines ever, but well, they actually do end up killing IdrA's lings, so maybe he should try and repair this planetary. Meanwhile, Iaguz is currently on Overlord duty, trying to get rid of as many scouting Overlords as he can. IdrA probably realizing that Iaguz is still continuing with this biomine composition. I think Terran really needs to try and transition into something else that can defeat Ultras and such, because right now these Ultralisks are actually just going to come in, they're going to eat everything alive. Unfortunately, the Mutas are actually going to get completely destroyed by the Marines. It's quite a good split there from Iaguz, as he is capitalizing on the one advantage that biomine has on Ultralisks and Mutas, is that, well, first of all, Marines are pretty good at killing Mutas. That goes without saying. And of course, biomine pretty agile. I think that's the word, or pretty maneuverable. But this drop is actually going to get completely denied, and these mutas are going to take out quite a few of those marines, but unfortunately 2 of those mutas do die, I think. Yeah. Now apparently, let's see if the units lost tab actually still works. The units lost tab is exactly identical to the units tab, which is why the units lost tab does not actually work. Yeah, okay, I hope they fix that. But anyway, we do have the Ultralisks. There's quite a lot of Ultralisks, and unfortunately we don't actually see... We do see a tech... I did see a tech lab. Now, do we have any tech labs on the factory? No, we only have... In fact, we only have one factory, I believe. We have two factories. And they're both making mines. So it looks like Iaguz just stuck on this biomine composition. I really think that Iaguz should consider going for some other factory tech, such as Thor's, or even better, or still siege techs, something that can deal splash damage against these kind of units, especially something that can deal a lot of damage to armored units. But here comes the huge fungal, and these units are actually going to die to those Ultralisks. Iaguz is actually losing a lot of supply to those Ultralisks already. We do have 7 kills on that one. 1 kill on that one. Okay, that's the knee-jerk bastard of Ultralisks. We do have the 8 kills on this one as well. Now, some of these units need to actually heal, so they probably should get to the Queens, and oh, not that big a hit. May want to try and kill off all the mutants with those Widow Mines, because that's really the way you can do it. These infestors really need to run away right now, or try and do a good fungal. Now, that fungal's not going to do that much. But Iaguz is actually not controlling this guy right now, so maybe an Ultralisk could just come in and kill it. Free kill. But Iaguz just continuing to stick to this biomine composition. I don't think it's going to work at all. Meanwhile, IdrA is actually going to expand. He's probably going to take his half of the map. I think Iaguz, of course, is going to try and deny this as much as he can, but right now IdrA just expanding left, right, and center. Is Iaguz considering making any command centers? He does have this one command center right here. Now, does IdrA know anything about this? No, he does not. No, he does not. So he knows that his overlords are getting attacked everywhere, and this is actually really good from Iaguz, just trying to get rid of as many overlords as possible. But right now, this huge attack here, it's actually not going to work that well for IdrA because of the kiting that biomine really has. But right now, oh, that fungal that right there is actually going to get rid of so many of those units. Even the marauders that can actually do quite a bit of damage versus ultras. They can do 26 damage. You take away 5, they can do 21 damage. Okay, you take away 6. Is my maths off? No, they do 20 damage versus ultras. That's still quite a bit. But at the moment, I really think Terran needs to learn to transition away from just the same composition and move into something else. They just keep, well, so far anyway, I've seen them just continue with the same composition in the hopes that it will actually work, when in fact it's not going to work. Now, we do have a bit of a fungal right there. That's actually going to kill off so many of those units. Another fungal right there is actually going to kill even more. But right now, we do have a bit of a flank. So that's actually pretty good for Iaguz. But I think those units are not going to do that much damage. They can actually kill off this last Ultra. That's actually pretty good. And, oh, actually, this is actually going pretty much in favor of Iaguz. He's actually going to try and come in with that bio army. A good fungal right there could actually soften them all up. Actually, so many of those units have so little health that in fact one more fungal will actually take out a large majority of those units. And IdrA is saying that this is actually really broken. Can't say I agree. Seems to be pretty back and forth. And do you notice that the text is a little wavy? Perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, it looks like Iaguz is actually in a bit of a lead. And IdrA already with the smack talk. Good old IdrA. And Iaguz, of course, being the happy bloke that he is, he knows that he made SCVs and units. That's the way you play. That's how you play the game. Pretty much, you just make SCVs and units. That's how you play Terran. Of course, if you're playing Zerg, you have to do a bit more stuff. If you're playing Protoss, you have to do a few more different things. But with Terran, you just have to make SCVs and make units. I'm surprised that Iaguz hasn't decided to try and do a few more drops. I mean, I honestly think if Iaguz tried to make something other than just Marine Marauder Widow Mine, he could actually stand more of a chance of just defeating IdrA outright against this sort of Muta Ultra Festa army, which IdrA has actually going on right now, and I think IdrA could probably just make a few more infestors. That should do it. He has a lot of gas, so he definitely has the resources to do that, and I'm right now just putting on a jacket, which is why the action is staying right here on IdrA's 4th. We do have a bit of a small engagement right there, and this Widowmite should actually do a lot of damage. Not really that much damage at all. And IdrA's sort of back into a corner. He needs to try and get some good fungals off, and of course this many ultras is going to have no problem against that much of a bio army. Good split right there. Pretty early split anyway. It's going to definitely help Iaguz a lot against this army right now. The Fungals actually doing quite a lot of damage just by themselves. Remember, they don't actually do any extra damage to armored units anymore, but they still do quite a bit of damage regardless. And of course, it is a spell, so already the damage ignores armor in much the same way that Oracle attacks ignore armor, which is probably why they don't have any attack upgrades, because, well, if they had more attack upgrades, they would be super duper broken, and basically all Protoss players would make Oracles the entire game versus anyone who decides to go for a mass ground army. I mean, what else would you make? It's apart from a unit that could do even more damage that has no armor reduction whatsoever. Anyway, back to this game, because there's no Protoss players playing, is there? Back to the topic, Ryan. Actually, surprisingly enough, IdrA has decided not to go for this base at all. Meanwhile, Iaguz has actually managed to catch up with the number of bases. I think it's currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 base Zerg versus 6 base Terror. In a sense, IdrA slightly behind, but with that many resources banked up, more importantly with that much gas banked up, I think IdrA is in an okay shape. Meanwhile, Iaguz actually doing pretty well with this biomine composition, surprisingly well actually. I didn't think that he would actually do that much damage to all of those ultras that quickly, but you have a few infested terrors being popped out right now, and unfortunately the split. Well, the kiting that Iaguz is using is actually pretty good. I really like that control, and oh my god, that's actually going. They actually survived for so long. Unfortunately, they're just not doing that much damage. Now, the thing about Biomine, I think another thing that Biomine has that's pretty good is that you can really just remax really quickly. As you can see, every single time an army dies, another army just pops up from the. How many barracks do we even have? From the 12 barracks that we have from Iaguz, as opposed to the seven main base structures that IdrA has. So the production of Iaguz is quite phenomenal in that he loses an army and he remaxes in the matter of seconds. Proves that this composition actually is better than I had thought, but unfortunately, just against ultras, banelings, infestors, etc., like in a straight up battle, you just can't do anything against this kind of army. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and ultimately, it probably becomes a game of attrition. Who decides to just leave first because they are really tired, or etc. I still think Terra should make something else other than just biomine. I mean, if Iaguz found himself at like over 1,000 resources each, then I think obviously he could actually consider making something else like battle cruisers. Could be fun. We do have Burrow coming up from IdrA now, and maybe he's just trying to see if he can get any more upgrades to make his army even stronger. Burrow, I think, would be an interesting choice if he decides to just burrow his army and then unburrow on top of Iaguz's gigantic bio force, because then he won't even need fungals to stop the bio army from retreating, unless of course Iaguz just puts everything in the medevacs and flies away. In which then, of course, you will need fungals, but of course, you can kill the medevacs a lot faster. This engagement right here, the fungals actually doing a lot more damage once again. I should probably go and cast a ZVP. Anyway, as I was saying, the fungals are doing quite a lot, and unfortunately, though, IdrA's ultras actually died so quickly. But we do have even more Ultras coming in, and we do have a Baneling actually exploding on that entire Bio army, doing quite a lot of damage. And IdrA is currently sitting on 189 supply. Now the thing that IdrA has is that he has a lot of resources banked up. He's got quite a number of minerals, and more importantly a substantial amount of gas, which means he can basically make all the high tier units he wants as long as he has the minerals. And ultimately the minerals are going to be a little bit more difficult to make, or to have actually, because so many bases are being mined out. He is however mining off 3 bases. I don't think he's not really mining off this base just yet. He does have 8 workers, or he is getting 8 workers to mine on these minerals, so hopefully the income will skyrocket a little bit more. But right now Iaguz actually has a lot more minerals being mined than he does have gas, so maybe that's why he is sticking to just this bio mine composition, which is heavy on the minerals but not so heavy on the gas. Probably kill off this widow mine too, and there's quite a few widow mines left. You got to remember that Marauders only cost 25 gas as opposed to 100 minerals, which is probably why Iaguz is sticking to this kind of army, because look at that, he's got 2,000 minerals banked up, ready to go. So obviously he should make that kind of army. And unfortunately though, Mass Marine is not going to cut it against Ultras. They will be able to deal with all the mutas obviously, but he does need something other than something beefy. Now okay, granted Marauders are pretty beefy, I'll grant you that, but like Ultras, man, come on. Should make something else, really, that's what I think. I could be wrong. After all, I am in Gold League, and I'm not really a Terror player, so I could be wrong. But regardless, that's how I think. And right now, Iaguz is just scrambling to get a few more units. He is at a bit of a supply deficit right now, but I think with a good engagement and really good micro, he should be able to deal with it. He needs to try and kill off all the infestors, but unfortunately IdrA is just a little bit too good for that, and he will just fungal everything, and the Ultras will just come in and kill everything as a result. He should probably try and kill off this base as well. Actually a few good fungals on these SCVs would actually do a lot of damage to Iaguz's economy, and here he comes with the Ultras only. I think this is not such a good idea, but we do have a bit of a flank coming in, and quite a good bailing hit on those Marines, I think, or Marauders anyway, but the Ultras are actually just gonna kill off everything right now. Can he fungal the medevacs? That's gonna be a huge thing, and a lot of those medevacs actually do explode. Can he kill even more of those medevacs? We don't know just yet, but the mutas are gonna kill all? No, not all of the medevacs, but he does manage to take out that base and probably all the SCVs as well, which is why Iaguz is currently sitting on only 143 supply. But IdrA currently with the army tab. Wait, I've lost it. Anyway, let's just go back to the production tab, because that's exactly what we want to see. We do have more mutas and more Ultras and more infestors coming in, which makes sense because Iaguz hasn't actually transitioned into anything other than just Marine, Marauder, Widow Mine, Medevac. It's just been the same day in, day out. For some reason it seems to be the same thing for Terran, and I really don't think that's going to work anymore. As you see here, it seems to have failed twice. The drops though, however, are actually going to do quite a lot of damage, and this one Marine with 2 health is actually going to stay. Will he die? Yes, he will. But that drop actually did a bit of damage. I think that's the only way that Iaguz can come back into the game, is if he tries to drop as much as possible, but unfortunately the base defense of IdrA is just way too much. Maybe if he gets rid of this base, that would be a pretty good victory for him. Meanwhile, IdrA actually just trying to do as much damage as he can to Iaguz's economy. Iaguz really needs to try to do the same. But with such a massive supply lead, I think IdrA can just basically win. And how many SCVs is that? That's so many SCVs lost. Bit of an unfortunate thing for Iaguz. And of course these Ultras are just going to like eat those Widow Mine attacks, and the mass repair. Here's the big question: what's better, mass repair on the planetary or 4 Ultras? And the answer of course is 4 or 5 Ultralisks, although that planetary did actually manage to kill one of the Ultras. We do have another engagement right here. The Fungal's actually going to get rid of so many of those forces, but unfortunately there's only one Fungal left. If Iaguz could get a good split, then maybe he could actually take out all of these Ultras and then proceed to try and attack again. The Mutants are actually not going to do anything at all, but we do have a sandwich by those Ultras. That's the most scariest sandwich I've ever seen, and I think Iaguz is actually going to lose all his forces. He's currently down to 46 supply. I don't think Iaguz has anything left. He's got he's actually got quite a lot of resources left. He can try and make a few more units, and then that's it. He's got no more. He's got no more minerals, which is what his army really needs. Remember, it's low on gas, but it's heavy on the minerals. He really needs to get more and more minerals, but unfortunately he doesn't have any mining bases left. He doesn't have this one, and of course Iaguz just leaves the game. And with that, I think we should probably try and see if Terran will ever figure out a way to transition out of just Marine Marauder Widow Mine. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say about that. I think Terran should try and transition out of that, because ultimately, well, unless you can drop like a thousand times and get really effective drops, I think you should probably think. Let me try and rephrase that. I think we should, I think Terran players should try and come up with another composition, because this is really not really working. Wow, my phrasing, my articulation is so bad. So bad. So anyway, that's all from me. Maybe I'll cast another game. We'll find out sooner or later. Maybe I'll upload 2 videos tonight. We'll see. But anyway, until then, thanks for watching. You can go follow IdrA on Twitter at IdrA. No JIT, it's just IdrA. You can also follow his stream, twitch.tv/IdrAJIT. Gotta make sure you don't get those two confused, because if you try and follow IdrAJIT, I don't think you'll find anyone. You definitely won't find the right guy. You definitely won't find Gregory Fields. You can also, I think that's really it. So anyway, you can also subscribe to me, my YouTube channel, if you want. There's the subscribe button down below. That'd be nice. This is the first time I'm going to say this. If you like it, if you like the video, thumbs up, I guess. If you don't like the video, thumbs down. If you have anything to say, write a comment. That'd be cool. Otherwise, yeah, you can also follow me on Twitter at Magician88. You can also follow me on twitch.tv/Magician88, where I stream every so often, very infrequently, very irregularly. Yeah, okay, that's all sorted. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye! Ooh, that thing actually just flashed. I wonder what that means. Whatever.